Welcome back to the Legacy Electric Z build. Today we're making battery covers. This episode is brought to you by Fibre Glast. In blue, green. We have 12 days left.
All right, now go ahead and get outside the car.
Anything for the intro, bro.
How did you go about making this? This looks very intricate. You got a lot of little detail going on.
Yeah, we got our V-weave in the center.
Damn, I didn't even notice that at first.
It's not a legacy episode if we don't talk about the V-weave in the center and stabilized carbon fiber.
Just stabilize
I've talked about it so many times. But I'm gonna keep talking about it because it's cool and we have a lot of it. Just like all of our carbon parts that we're making on this, well, pretty much all of them, we, made a plug first, then made a mold from that, and made the carbon part from that. So we started with the plug. We already had this section of steel from when we laid the hood down. So the hood was laying across here, and then this section of steel, the lower section. I added another section of steel on top of it that was wider to the plug, and then I slid a piece of steel in behind it. It's a bunch of little tacks. And I tested with the hood and I realized that it was actually just barely hitting right here. So I put 2 slices in the piece of steel and just pushed it a little lower. So that's why you have this little relief here. Arch. Yeah, it's cool. It adds a little detail to this so it's not just straight flat too. I made sure that this was nice and pronounced, so this is where the hood's gonna literally sit. So we have the hood lining up here. We have to make sure that line's exactly dead on, which it is. And then we have the air dam lining up right here with the same line in the center. So that was really tricky, making sure that all the measurements were correct. So then after that, we of course sanded the plug. I just did a bunch of mud work here, made sure it was thicker because I knew I was gonna have to bump up over stuff. So sanded the plug. We used the Partle Paste Partle Paste wax it, wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi style. Sprayed it with PVA, like all of our stuff. And then we made a fiberglass mold. The 188, don't quote me on that, the orange tooling gel coat that we always use. Mm-hmm. And then 4 layers of, I think we did 7-ounce fiberglass, the woven stuff. and so for the part itself, we of course used the stabilized 3K for the first layer. And then that is the only carbon that's in here actually. Well, it's stabilized 3K here and here, and this is just regular 3K so it can bend up here. That's the one downside to stabilized. It can't conform to a lot of curves very well because it's got that weave locking the back of it.
It's that stabilization.
Yeah, exactly, all the stabilization. But yeah, so under that though is 3 layers of that same 7-ounce woven fiberglass. And we did that because carbon fiber is actually conductive like most metals. So we didn't really want a conductive, like you wouldn't make a battery box out of steel in case something happens and this pushes down and contacts into the top of the batteries, which it's like 3 inches at the closest spot, just because of how this is made. Maybe like 2 actually at the closest spot, but either way, it's enough that I feel pretty safe about it. And it's got 3 bars running through this that are structural, so we're good. But you know, just to be safe, all the underside of this is fiberglass. So this all turned out really, really nice. I'm super happy with this. I just ran a thick foam gasket on the back of it. It's like this little foamy boy. It's sticky on one side. This whole section, wherever it contacts it here, I have that foam stuff here. Just to keep it,
rattles.
well, that and like keeping it weather tight and,
Okay.
you know, I'm not really gonna try to drive this thing in the rain or anything, but you know, if I wash it, it's, even if water did get behind it, it has channels to run, it's not gonna get to the actual batteries, but another layer of protection. Then we just ran some riv nuts and some bolts in here, and then I actually had to, I didn't want to chop all this out for the hood, so we actually clearanced it exactly where it needed to go for the latch. Actually, look at this, it's rubbing a little bit off the sand there. But yeah,
Some tight clearance. I was like, it ain't
It's
no
tight.
way that's gonna make it.
But hey,
You
it looks
showed-
good.
You showed how it worked. I'm like, damn.
yeah, we got the
Point
other one
level
too. Phew. Nice. Yeah, so we have our hood hinges. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the front battery box, but that is the less intricate out of the two. So let's go on to the center trans tunnel.